All right, come back to the flooding issue throughout the course of the morning, but I had wanted to talk to Claire because I had been referring to quite a lengthy letter that she had sent with regards to her own history involving the MMR vaccine, which we've been talking about yesterday. I want to take this opportunity to talk to her because I've managed to get a contact with her, not through her phone, because she's not giving out phone numbers or mobiles or anything, but I've managed to get her on Skype. But it's interesting because there's another lady whose name I won't mention for issues of privacy, who also emailed me yesterday saying, she sent an email yesterday morning saying, 3 minutes to 11, just listening to your show this morning about the links between the MMR vaccine and autism. I'm being taken to court this afternoon by my young son's father to force his vaccination, which I'm against for reasons researched and well-founded, many of which you dealt with on the air. Well, that lady was in court yesterday and she lost her court case. She put up an appeal saying that she had reasons why she didn't want her child vaccinated. The judge ruled against her and said that she now had 14 days to present her son to a practitioner, a doctor, a GP, to be vaccinated. That's a very difficult and emotional thing for a mother, because I've spoken to a number of them, 3 or 4 yesterday, who saw immediate changes, absolute immediate changes to the temperament and to the personality and to the motor skills of their child straight after the MMR vaccine. How guilty would you feel then, knowing that you really were responsible for allowing this to happen to your child? And I don't mean that to be hurtful to anybody, but I'm sure that that's the thought and the sentiment that goes through a mother or a father or a parent's mind. So when there's a battle between a father and a mother, you know, 2 partners, as is the case with Claire from Waterford, it makes the whole thing very, very, very difficult. But her story involves her young son, and she's in hiding at the moment and joins me by Skype. Claire, good morning.
Good morning, Neil.
Now, there's a slight delay, but we'll muddle through it anyway. For reasons of, legally anyway, first, I don't want to know your son's name, I don't want to know your partner's name, and I don't want anything divulged that would in any way identify the child. But
sure.
Can you just give me a broad outline of the background to this story that ultimately saw you going on the run and into hiding?
Okay, well, as most people would be aware, these vaccinations are not mandatory in Ireland. So, the way it's being dealt with up to now is it's totally upsetting. And I'm just listening to you there talking about that other lady. The vaccinations you're referring to, it's not just the MMR. Well, I'm not sure if it's the same for the other lady also, but it's 7 vaccinations, not just that 3 in 1, but also another 4 in 1.
Okay, there's polio, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. So the other 3 are referred to are measles, mumps, and rubella.
That's correct, yeah.
And how did this become a Garda and a court issue for you?
Well, I had appealed the court order.
First of all, how first did it come to the attention of the guards and the court?
I appealed the case in the High Court on Monday the 18th, and I was turned away. What I'm trying to ascertain is, who first made it a court issue? Was it a disagreement between you and the dad of your child? Was it, and he went to a solicitor who then took you to court? Was that it? Yes, there was no discussion about it between myself and the dad. So he summons me to court.
Ex-partner?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you arrived in court with legal representation, I'm sure?
The first time, no.
No? And what was that like?
Neither did he. Well, I was appealing to the judge that it should be a family matter and that he should be encouraging us to deal with it outside of court. I really wanted to discuss at length with the father on my concerns for the vaccines and encourage him to research with me, to which he declined.
Mm-hmm. He wanted the vaccine, that was it. That, although they're not mandatory, what decision did the judge give out then, having heard both of you?
Well, the judge said that there was a disagreement still standing between myself and the father, so he felt that it in the best interest of the child for the court to intervene.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I feel that the judge, I don't feel the judge can make a determination against the family.
The judge gave you an opportunity to go outside of the court to discuss it, didn't he?
Now, when we say discuss, it was literally go out, discuss, but come straight back in. So that to me wasn't given an opportunity for a proper discussion on the issue.
Did you talk to the judge about the ingredients within the MMR vaccine? Did you talk about the worries or the risks of side effects, be it autism? Did you get an opportunity to tell him all about your concerns there?
Well, I was trying to get across that I do have my child's best interests at heart, and I was still baffled that he wasn't encouraging the father to discuss outside of court. I really went in under the illusion that the court wouldn't disregard our rights and would encourage for it to be a family matter outside of court.
So you say in a lengthy letter that the judge said that he was happy with the fact that the HSE were recommending it, and that was all he needed to know?
Exactly, yes.
Right. And on that case, what did he say? Did he tell you then to present your son for the jab, was it?
Yes, he signed the order even though I was still trying to dispute the matter with him. I was really trying to appeal to him that, if he was insistent on signing the order for it to be given, that I would ask for some kind of a disclaimer to be signed so that he would be accepting responsibility if he was taking my right away from me as a natural mother.
Yes.
So, and also for the father to take responsibility. Because, I'm just confused as to how, also he laughed at me when I asked him to take responsibility for his decision, and so did the father, and in the court. So, I'm just, as the days go on, I'm getting more confused and more upset as to why our rights are being ignored here.
Okay, so that was the district court, and that was sometime in May.
Mm-hmm.
You appeal. I don't want to be too specific about this. You appealed the case to the circuit court.
Yes.
Okay. How did that go for you? Different judge, different court?
Yes. Well, first of all, I got less than 24 hours notice to appear before the circuit court. I was under the impression from the court offices that there would be no case until November because there was no available dates, and then I got less than 24 hours notice to attend court.
You received a letter in the post telling you'd be in court the next day.
Yes.
So you were quite unprepared. Maybe
yes.
At that, I would imagine, yeah.
So I had managed to get a hold of a solicitor who was very generous to go in and adjourn the case for me, just to give a little time for me to prepare properly.
Okay. It was adjourned for a week, and you went back then into the second week in June. How did that go? You had a solicitor and a barrister. The judge was ready to go. The circuit court case was ready to happen.
Mm-hmm.
How did it go for you?
Well, I was very trusting of the solicitor and barrister, and they really felt that it would be heard properly, and the barrister produced a lot of paperwork to the judge in the circuit court, outlining legislation to prove, I suppose, that the judge does not have jurisdiction to intervene I'm not sure if that's the right wording, but it's all new to me. But that wasn't successful. And
you tried to say that the court had no jurisdiction, nor did the judge in this matter, but that failed. So the court heard the case, didn't they? I mean, the judge even asked you, "Did you ever meet anyone with polio? Because I did, and it's a horrible disease."
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I wasn't aware at the time, but there is someone that I know through other people. I know of him, and he is in a wheelchair. I'm not sure what age he is. I believe he may be in around his 50s, but he got the polio vaccination when he was 7, and it seems that he had gotten polio from that vaccination.
Yeah, well, the real polio is back again now. It's come in from the east. Some would say that vaccination is more important than ever now. But one has to wonder whether the cure outweighs the illness or the sickness, and that's the argument. So anyway, the legal issue was trashed out within the circuit court. Yeah.
Yes.
Your solicitor and your barrister did their thing. And your partner, your ex-partner, obviously had the same. Solicitors and barristers also working on his behalf, yeah?
And no, he was still representing himself.
Okay, all right, but that didn't work either for you. Was the order of the district court endorsed by the circuit court?
Yes. Now, there's not a pandemic or epidemic at present, so there's no immediate danger. So we do still have time to discuss the matter further in court, but that was denied. Yes. So it seems to me like they don't, I'm under the impression that they don't want the medical expertise heard in court.
Did you present a medical expert?
Now, I was willing to, and we did have, I did have people in the pipeline who it was still in discussion as to whether they would turn up on my behalf or not. But I just want to get across that time was of the essence also. I wasn't being given much time to prepare to get people on board, and the barrister was pushing, she felt that the judge would be fair and allow another court day for a full hearing on the matter, but that didn't happen.
Now, the vaccinations are not mandatory. I mean, they're not. Can't be forced to have your child vaccinated. However, one partner wants it and another partner doesn't want it. How does the judge come down on the side of one over the other? Is it on the basis that the judge said if the HSE endorsed the vaccination, then I agree with the father? Was that how you'd sum it up?
Well, it seems that the judge was taking a personal stance on the matter. It didn't seem anyway impartial, and also, I mean, another way to look at it is that it's more or less the same as if a father wanted a circumcision and the mother didn't. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing in my eyes.
So what did the judge tell you to do? Were you given an ultimatum?
I was told that the order from the district court was being affirmed. So it meant that it still stands. The judge explained that they felt constrained by the law, and also they were aware that I could seek remedy, meaning that I could seek a judicial review. So that I suppose that was their excuse, for want of a better word, of affirming the order.
Which was present your son within 14 days to a local doctor, is it?
Oh, less than that.
Less than 14 days?
Yes.
How long?
Well, we were told to leave the courtroom and discuss a date and time. Now, before I get to that, I'd just like to say that I was put under duress to make a decision there and then as to whether or not I was going to seek judicial review. And I had to come in after another hearing for the benefit of the father so that he could seek legal aid. The judge felt it was in his best interest to know whether I was seeking judicial review or not. However, to seek judicial review, if you have representation, it can cost tens of thousands, I was told.
So you didn't have legal aid, so you'd have been footing this bill yourself.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And your ex-partner the judge indicated that he would approve legal aid, but you'd be one stumping up all of the dosh on your side to pursue this. So were you disinclined to continue on that basis then?
Well, I felt I had no choice. I wasn't aware of any other option available to me at that time. Now, I am a working mother. I'm not on the dole. However, I'm not entitled to legal aid just because of a few euro in the difference.
Okay, so
as far as I know,
you declined the issue of a judicial review, left the court. Obviously, your son wasn't with you. Went back to your son, wherever that may be. What did you do next?
Well, I spoke to more people about it to express how upset I was and confused over the situation. I felt that there must be another way I could go about it. So I was made aware that I could represent myself and seek judicial review. So I made that decision over the course of the weekend. And I decided to travel during the night on the Sunday night before the hearing time in the High Court. So just to make sure I was there in the morning.
To make an application. Yeah.
To make an application, yeah. So
to represent yourself, therefore save any money that you wouldn't have to incur costs. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you did that. You arrived at the High Court on the Monday morning. And what happened there?
Well, I had to enter a courtroom full of barristers, and each barrister stands up after the other straight away, given no gap in time to make their application. And I was very daunted by that. I wrote out a note to the registrar or the court clerk to let them know that it was an urgent issue, that it was about a court order that was due to be carried out at 3 p.m. and that this was around 12 o'clock. And I was told that I just had to make myself heard and stand up at any given chance.
You just butt in, interject, yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I went to the top of the room, and it took until around lunchtime to get that chance. And when I did make myself known to the judge and expressed that it was an urgent matter, he motioned to me that he wasn't going to take any more applications, and he turned to the rest of the room and said that he was going away for the day and he wasn't taking any more applications after lunch, and that it would have to be dealt with in another courtroom, to which he disappeared into a back room, and the court clerk said that this is not normal procedure, and they would have to put word out for another judge to take over the rest of the cases in the afternoon. So I did return after 2 p.m. as we were told, and I made my application, and the judge kept talking over me. When I did mention Article 41.11 of the Constitution, he just was talking over me. I wasn't allowed to finish. There was barristers tutting in the background behind me, which I felt was very disrespectful as well.
And the heel of the hunt on that one was that you were told that the district court and the circuit court, that the High Court agreed with them, and get down to the east of the country, where your child was, and present him to a court, to the guards, or to a doctor?
To present him to someone to administer the vaccinations.
Okay, so at this stage now you've been through the district court, the circuit court, and now the High Court.
Now, as far as I'm aware, like, all I was doing was making an application for a review, and I was under the impression that that would be granted regardless, that I'm entitled to have that review.
Okay.
As was said to me in the circuit court.
Okay, but that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
And were you ordered to get back down to your son and to present him for vaccination?
I was just turned away and told that the order still stands.
So you needed to be back down
within
by
10
3 o'clock.
minutes.
Yeah, by 3 o'clock that afternoon. What happened next?
Well, I was very upset, and I went to speak to more people because obviously I couldn't make it down by that time, and I was unsure of what action would be taken. You know, if I didn't show up.
Were you afraid that the clock was ticking and you had until 3 o'clock, and that the guards would take your son at 3 o'clock?
Well, yeah, I was very afraid. I was unsure of what would happen. And rightly so, because they did take more or less immediate action. Now, I'd just like to say that I had phoned through to the HSE to notify them that I wouldn't be able to make it back down. And I was told that there was no one available anyway that day to administer the vaccination. However, all doctors and nurses on site were aware of the situation, and they wouldn't discuss it any further.
Or was it that there was no doctor or nurse willing to vaccinate your child because they mightn't be able to live with the side effects?
Who knows? I really don't know.
All right. You said in your letter that the Gardaí began harassing your family and your friends as to where you were with your son. At this stage, had you made it back down and collected your son and left your home?
Yes, well, I was so afraid of what was going to happen that I felt it was best for my son if I took us both out of the situation while I was deciding further what to do, how best to deal with it. I didn't want to subject him to any, I didn't want him to be subjected to Gardaí or
any kind of trauma or harassment.
Intervention. I don't feel that's in his best interests.
Has he any idea of what's going on around him?
No,
okay.
He's
fine.
I'm making sure that he's happy, and he's getting on as normally as possible as he would be from day to day.
Did you pack a bag? Did you leave your hometown? Is there a bench warrant out for your arrest?
I'm unsure of that. I don't know. All I know is that there was persistent harassment there of friends and family by the Gardaí.
Did the guards go into your house?
Yes, they entered my home, and not only did they leave other people enter, but they left my ex-partner enter my home. And I'd just like to say I feel extremely violated. And it's not the only time. It did happen again a couple of days later, where the Gardaí entered my house again while there was no one there. And they locked my dog in another room, and the water was cut off, I've been told. It seems to me like my home is under siege. I don't feel I have a home to return to.
Are you a long way from home now?
I am.
And this is about 2 weeks later, is it?
This happened last week.
Okay, well, it's actually a little longer than that since the whole thing started within the first court appearance. But
Yeah.
from the date when you left your own home, that would have been what, the 17th or 18th?
The 18th, yeah.
Okay, so it's about 10 days ago then.
Yes, yeah.
That you've been away. And are you feeding your son? Are you providing for him? Have you friends looking out for you? Yeah. And this is only an issue with regards to your fear of the side effects of the vaccinations. It's not on religious grounds or anything like that, or you're not Jehovah's or anything like that.
No, as far as I'm concerned, I'm making a mature, responsible decision. I want to be as informed as possible about the vaccinations.
Yeah.
And it's at this stage I'm worried of further action that could be taken. I really don't understand why it's being dealt with in such a way.
Do the guards contact family and close friends trying to get information as to where you are?
Yes, they're constantly harassing them, and they don't know where I am, but they know we're safe.
Now, does your ex-partner know that his son is safe? Because for him to want the vaccination in the first place, in fairness to him, he feels is for the best thing for his son. I mean, he would worry that without the vaccinations that anything could happen with regards to his child's health. I mean.
Well, I mean,
he has a genuine, passionate interest and worry.
Well, the father said he trusted the HSE implicitly, and I just want to get across here that I was totally trusting of these vaccinations up to a point, but I was made aware of some concerns, and I decided to make a responsible decision to become more informed. I mean, I put a scenario up there on the statement. I don't know, did you see that?
Yes, I have it here. If someone handed you a drink and said, give this to your child, would you, one, give it without question, or would you want to know more about what it contains and make a decision, or two, not give it at all because of a lack of knowledge or trust, or three, decide to investigate the ingredients of the drink with an open mind? No, that's all very well. Just, I'm wondering, the father of your son must be up to 90 with worry now.
Well, I'd just like to say that, as far as I'm aware, there have been no attempts for him to get a message across to me to, not to be worrying that we can sort this out in some way without the courts. Come home, I want to see him. I haven't heard any message, and
And if he wanted it, he could get a message to you through different channels, could he?
Of course he could. It's not that hard to figure out how to do it. Because he could get a message through on TNS if he wanted. I did an interview on TNS.
So will you stay away indefinitely? I mean, technically on the run, if you like, indefinitely.
I'm going to stay away as long as I feel is necessary to protect my child. And, I don't want any of this. In the last 10 days, I just don't know what to make of the situation. I'm confused. I don't understand why I'm not why I'm not being allowed to make a decision to protect my child.
And now we have another lady. The judge yesterday ruled that her son is to be presented to his GP within 14 days of the judge's decision, which was yesterday. She says it's not quite an order for vaccinations, but amounts to the same thing as he knows that the GPs are generally bound to uphold the state line on vaccinations, and that is to push for the vaccination. So the judge, while he's not instructing the vaccination, he's passing the buck essentially to the doctor. So no doubt he doesn't want to be held accountable that something might happen to the son. He's saying, present the child to a GP, He's not saying present the child to be vaccinated. You know, there's a subtle difference there, I would think. But she's in the same situation as you. She's got the same quandary, if you like, the same conundrum.
Well,
okay.
I really feel that people should really listen to this situation, and although it may come across that it's just about vaccinations, it's not. It's about our rights. Our rights are being violated.
We leave it at that for now, Claire, I imagine, and see where the coming days and weeks, or however long this might play out. What more can I tell you? You're a long way from home. Friends of yours know where you are. There's a court order out. There's a warrant, a bench warrant for your arrest.
Nobody knows where I am.
Oh, okay. Even your close friends and relatives, they don't know either.
No, they don't.
I see. Okay, but there must be somebody looking out for you wherever you are, is there?
There is.
Yeah. Okay.
Where my son is being well looked after. He's being well provided for. He's happy. He's unaware of the situation that's going on.
All right. And you don't keep him locked up indoors or anything. Does he get out and about? Do you go out and about? Do you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, look, I'll stay in touch, or indeed, maybe the other way around. You stay in touch with me. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
And thank you for taking the Skype call.
Thank you.
Cheers for now. Take care of yourself.
Goodbye.
Keep an eye on that one. Well overdue for an ad break. Come back after these. Thanks.